Hello, traders. This is Rich from tradesight. This is the look at our market-leading stocks via our proprietary scans for the coming session. This is going to be for Wednesday, September 23rd, 2014. We came into today's session with definitely a downward bias, not only in the NASDAQ patch, but also many of the other smaller sectors as well. Today, going into tomorrow's trade for Tuesday, we're definitely seeing a little bit of a downward bias, and we're actually seeing some pretty good volume here for the first day of a new option cycle without any other particular features today. Note Baidu had a lot of weakness and volume. Got a downside CPS and a volume and a closed deviation. Got a closed deviation in First Solar and a downside CPS. So Crimerica is likely to be yakking that out tomorrow. KLA 10 Core's got a downward CPS, and that's coming off of a very extended run. Netflix and Sina also are indicated lower for tomorrow as well. Both of those have good volume going into the day. As far as the financials go, paired off here, so we don't have any particular signals. Bank of America's got a volume deviation. Nothing else is really sticking out as far as big move to the downside expected for tomorrow. Watch CME and JP Morgan. JP Morgan's got an upside RPS and some pretty decent volume today. The banking stocks were actually trading fairly well this morning, and were one of the groups that were leading this morning before things really just started to roll down and really altogether gather downside momentum. Here's a look at the energy stocks. Arch Coal and BTU should both be sticking out. They're very, very weak, both coal stocks, and both very, very weak. They both have downside CPSs, open close deviations, and volume deviations. So keep an eye on those for tomorrow. Devon Energy had a good volume bump and rolled to the downside. Valero was pretty weak today, also without a signal, but definitely some good movement. As far as the generals go, the broad market was a little bit stronger than the NASDAQ side of the market as far as price performance went today, and we're seeing that here from our scans. A little bit of buy side action here. There's really not too much on the sell side. Best Buy's got a downside CPS. I was actually on my short watch list today. That didn't really care for the way that one's set up. We did trade Caterpillar short today. That worked out just fine, but that one does have an upside RPS. Not quite as much volume as we'd like to see for a great move back to the upside, but maybe tomorrow's the day not to pile onto the short side. Comcast had a volume bump, and so did VMware, 2.2% above the open. There was some news on that stock today, so you might want to keep an eye on that for tomorrow. That was fairly well received. Obviously, the housing was really weak. We had some housing data today, and it wasn't obviously not well received, and you can see that in these stocks. I think that's one of the things that led to the overall weakness in the broad market. Hovnanian and Toll Brothers, both really, really weak versus their opens. DHI just missed an open close deviation. So definitely keep an eye on those for tomorrow. As far as the transports go, American Airlines was really weak and on volume. Doesn't have a signal with it today, but keep an eye on America, Delta, JetBlue, and whatnot tomorrow. ValueJet. As far as the commodities go, volume bumps here. AA, pretty weak. A lot of the material stocks were weak today. AVX, volume bump. ACH. Silver Wheaton has a big volume bump and also an upside RPS. So keep an eye on that for tomorrow on the long side. All right, folks, as always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.